Good afternoon, it's July 31st, 2025, and it's time for my second set of devotionals. Won't you join me?
And celebrate recovery, healing from hurts, habits, and hang-ups.
Day 212, Fish Crackers. A man's pride brings him low, but a man of lowly spirit gains honor. Proverbs 29:23. When my kids were little, it seemed like any problem could be quickly solved with fish crackers and a juice carton. But the reality of grown-up life is that we are powerless over many of the circumstances in our lives. When I try to grab one of those problems by the horns and fix it myself, it usually ends up in a tangled mess. It's humbling to realize we have no power. The big man inside us wants to be able to take care of business. But no matter how bad things are, we can always make things worse by flexing our muscles and beating our chests. Fortunately, there is a way to deal with the problems in our lives, though it seems opposed to what we've always been taught. The Bible tells us that the people who humble themselves will gain honor and find a solution to their problems. God has a unique and special purpose for each of us, but we must remove our pride and let Him lead the way. Only then can we be infused with His wisdom and counsel. Only then can we see the big picture. Only then can we find permanent solutions rather than temporary fixes. Prayer. Father, I surrender my heart and life to you once again. Thank you for teaching me that I have no power over my life, but I am powerful when I live in full surrender to you. In Jesus' name, amen.
And in my quiet time devotional,
Day 212, Recommendation Letters. Clearly, you are a letter from Christ showing the result of our ministry among you. This letter is written not with pen and ink, but with the Spirit of the living God. It is carved not on tablets of stone, but on human hearts. 2 Corinthians 3:3. When you look for a new job, you need a standout resume and glowing letters of recommendation. Obviously, you want to make a good impression, but you're also careful to be truthful. Unfortunately, that's not always the case in the world of job hunting. Sometimes the resume doesn't tell the whole picture, and the recommendations don't give the full picture. Many an employer has been duped by employees who turned out not to be all that they and others claimed them to be. In Paul's day, a letter of recommendation from a reputable source carried great weight for the person who wanted to travel and gain a hearing. Unfortunately, some false teachers were carrying such letters and had gained access to the Corinthian church. Paul found himself having to defend himself against the false teachers to the church he had planted. So he pointed out that the letters the false teachers had shown were faulty. The letters Paul had were the Corinthian believers themselves, letters written not with pen and ink, but with the Spirit of the living God. He needed nothing else to prove the truthfulness of his message. Their very lives did it every day. What does your life say about your faith? As a representative of your family, your church, your faith all over the world, what kind of letter of recommendation do you bring? How will you represent Christ today? Wouldn't it be so nice for problems to be solved with fish crackers and a box of juice? Unfortunately, not everything will go that way, and when it comes to being a representative for Christ, you're going to need a lot more, like a good recommendation letter. And the best recommendation letter is your life and how you are adhering to God's will. I hope you have a blessed day.